Quazi here. In today's video, I want to share with you how I manifested over $4 million in 4 years in my business by the age of 25. And by the end of this video, I want to share with you the 3 things that have stayed in common, the 3 things that I did when I started off and I still do to this very day, so that you have a system to use for yourself. Please stick around to the very end of this. I hope this is going to be extremely valuable for you. Real quick before I get started, I've made a lot of valuable materials, but I just can't share them because of YouTube's platform limitations. To get access to those, click that unlisted video in the description to get access to exclusive material like the Identity Shifting Bootcamp. The unlisted video explains to you how to get access to that. I want to share with you my whole journey from the beginning up until this day. I wanted to get started with business and entrepreneurship, but I just didn't know what to do. And the reason I wanted to get started with entrepreneurship is because I wanted freedom from that soul-sucking 9-to-5 engineering job. It was actually 7 to 3 for me. And this was back when I was a junior in college. And I did a summer internship at this box plant, this engineering plant, and I completely hated it. I was looking around me and people were trying to stick their arms in the machines to get workers' comp, and I think they hated it too. And then I asked myself, is this what I want for the next 40 years of my life until I retire at 65 and then do what I want? And back then I had very low self-confidence. I didn't think I could do anything. I thought I wasn't talented. I thought I wasn't smart. I just didn't really believe in myself, you know? And then I got into this personal development journey, read books like The Power of Now, started meditating, started really getting into working out. And that was my into personal development and bettering myself. And over time, I started to become a little bit better, 1% better every single day, until I completely changed my self-image and started to look at myself differently. And that's when my life really started to change, which is basically what I'm going to share with you by the end of this video, of the 3 things that I did. In the end of this internship, towards the beginning of my senior year, I made a decision. I was looking at my friends at the time, like Arlen and Raphael. They were 20 years old and they had this freedom business. Raphael sold merch, so did Arlen, and they both had YouTube channels. So I was like, I'm going to get on YouTube and somehow try to make it. And so I started to make YouTube videos at the beginning of I can't remember now, I believe it was 2018. And I made a decision that, hey, I'm gonna, by August of 2019, I'm gonna have my own business that does 20K a month. And I set that goal and I told my parents, hey, I'm not gonna go into this job and you can't tell me anything if I make 5K a month from my business by then. So I started making YouTube videos. And I had no idea how I was going to monetize them, but every single day I did what I'm going to share with you, which is basically visualizing what I wanted. And then one day a lady reached out to me and she was like, hey, I'll pay you for coaching. And I was like, oh, I can monetize this? I thought I would have to sell merch or something and make lifestyle vlogs. If you go back, you'll see me having a horrible attempt at trying to make vlogs. It was disgusting. I couldn't even edit for shit. I made these hour-long vlogs where it was just not edited. And it was terrible. So I'm glad I didn't have to sell merch and do something that I'm passionate about. So she reached out to me for coaching and I was like, oh my God, I can do that. I actually like to coach. I actually like to help people and share knowledge and grow, right? So it completely fit with what I wanted. So this was also a process of self-discovery. I started that. I took a program, met up with a buddy who lived near me, and he taught me how he does the exact same thing. Sunny Sharma, if you know him. And then I started my own coaching business and I started to get I remember the day I got my first client. I was like, oh my God. It was January of 2019. And I was like, oh my God, this is insane. I just made my first dollars online. This is crazy. And then I graduated in May of 2019 and that was the worst month of my business. And it was supposed to be the best month of my business because I just quit my 9-to-5, the offer that they gave me, I just didn't go into it. And my parents were really frustrated. They're like, what are you doing? You're not even making any money. You should go and get a job. We paid $250,000 for your education, etc. And all of that pressure was just hounding on me. And I completely fell apart. I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I just said, fuck it. And I let everything go. And things started to fall into place. And then June, I made my first 8K month. July was my first 12K month. And August was my first 20K month. I did achieve that goal that I set. I think it was just 1 month late. After that, it just went really a hockey stick. By January of 2020, a year later of starting my business, I hit my first 100K month. And initially, I didn't really want that. I just wanted a freedom business that I could travel, I could, make some money and not have to worry about being in a corporate career. But that's basically how my journey unfolded. So now I want to share with you the 3 things that I did more in depth the 3 lessons that I learned, epiphanies that I had, and also the actual 3 things that I did and do to this day. Thing number 1, I didn't focus on the money, okay? I didn't just solely focus on money. I focused more on the feeling that the money would bring. The subconscious mind speaks the language of the heart. The conscious mind speaks the language of the mind. We never really want money. If you really think about it, we want what money can buy for us, right? So whenever I thought about money, nothing really happened. Whenever I felt what it would feel like to be in that ideal scene, that's when things started to fall into place. To give you an example, I always had a visual of me being in my ideal scene, waking up next to the woman of my dreams with this mansion in LA, just making it real vivid, like she's blonde. I have a thing for blonde girls, my wife is blonde. And then going outside, I have a red Ferrari, like a red car that's like a sports car, and I forget my keys, and then my wife or partner throws the keys at me. And all of those things pretty much happened. I mean, or they can happen now because, you know, I can afford all of those things, but like my pictures change. I'm not really interested in having like a red Ferrari because it costs a lot to maintain. Apparently the first oil change is like 20 or 10 grand, something crazy like that. I stopped focusing on money, and when the first 20K month happened, I wasn't even aware of the fact that I set a goal like that. And then I dug back at my sheet where I set that goal. I was like, holy shit, this really happened. That was how I did it, and I visualized it every single day, like feeling what it would feel like to be in that ideal scene. What does it feel like? Who am I being when I'm in that ideal scene? That's number 1. Don't focus on the money, focus on the feeling. So if you are gonna focus on money, focus on that core feeling that you would feel once the money has been had. I want you to do an exercise right now. Look at that ideal scene and everything that you want in your life. And what is that core feeling that drives you? What is it that you're feeling once you've achieved all of those? I want you to write like 1 or 2 words down to describe it. Mine were achievement and freedom. Those were the 2 things that I felt in my visions when I visualize it. So you gotta just understand what it is you feel once everything is achieved, and just write down 2 words and just keep tapping into that feeling again and again every single day. Which brings me to point number 2. This is another thing I did. I created a 1-pager with images and affirmations. So I actually have a big document on that, and I share it in my flagship program, the Reality Mastery Program, with our paid clients. But a way in which you can do that for yourself right now is to create a simple 1-pager. On one side, you have images of your ideal scene. I had a picture of a mansion in Hollywood Hills. I had a picture of a red Ferrari. I think I had a picture of this blonde supermodel. And I saw that every day, every single night before bed, and every morning right after I woke up. That's when your subconscious mind is the most moldable, right? And I also read the affirmations at the back. I did a reference video on how you can actually do this. It's a Neville Goddard video. So click right here. I'll put a I right here, or put in the description, pin it. Go watch that video. I share with you that 1 Neville Goddard law that I followed ceaselessly for 4 years that allowed all of this to happen. Okay, that's a very, very important video. That's number 2. Number 3, this is very, very important. Set your intentions during the morning, during nighttime, and during the day. Live carefree. Before you do something, set an intention, and once you're doing it, just do it carefree. And this is why. When we set an intention, the subconscious mind already gets to work in fulfilling that intention. But then we keep interrupting with more intentions and more overcorrection. When you overcorrect, you're automatically straining and you're controlling, which are 2 of the biggest enemies to reality creation. They're 2 of the biggest enemies to your subconscious mind. When I throw, I don't just throw with my wrist, I throw with my whole body. I get more momentum, right? I can use the bigger muscles, and I can throw easier and walk the path of least resistance. That is what we're preventing from happening when we try to control, manipulate, strain, order the subconscious mind. So before you do a task, just set the intention of what you want to happen, and just let whatever happens happen. When you wake up in the morning, read the affirmation, read the self-mastery guide, watch your images, and just visualize and feel. During the day, live carefree and trust that it will happen somehow, okay? So go watch this video right now. Click right here, and that'll teach you how to use that Neville law for yourself. So I'll see you in this next video right now.